What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated TonyTGD, joined once again by GaryOCG. Just looking at some indie titles. What's going on, Gary?
Yeah, not much. Just another day.
Another day, another dollar, huh?
Yep.
So, what do we got on tap for tonight? Something good?
Oh, we got 4 doozies on my side. How many did you pull out tonight?
I got 4. All of them are Steam games. I'm going Steam this time.
Okay. It seems like the majority of my games are probably the same way. Microsoft Windows, Steam. I'm sure they'll find their way onto to Switch, which they usually do, and then maybe PS4, PS5, and the Xbox. So, we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, hopefully. I think some of the games that I'm looking at are going to end up being on Switch or PS4 or whatever. They look
Well, when
too
they
good
say
to...
when they say Microsoft Windows, that usually does end up on Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, usually they'll have it like, in the description they'll have it like blatantly say Xbox. But I think if it's Microsoft Windows, that it usually does find its way onto Xbox.
Yeah, I think so. It should. So, what do you want to start with? Did you want to wait a couple minutes, let some people filter in, or just want to just jump right into it?
I mean, we could wait a couple minutes.
Sounds good. I am just tweeting it out because, I don't have automatic tweets going. Should have had it. Hey, what's up, Luke? Luke's here.
Hey, Luke. So I want to ask you a question. We never really got to talk about anything He-Man on Saturday. Do you think that they will be, with the new show and the toy line and a lot of stuff popping up around, retail stores, do you think they'll have a new He-Man game come out?
I think they will. They're definitely going to have something.
Because
I
it
don't
seems
see
like
why they
they're going
wouldn't.
pretty hard with that, with the new stuff.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something? There was a He-Man game on television, wasn't there?
There was. It is one of my favorites, and that could be a great title for him to have. Although, do they want to go back to? I don't know if they owned. I think He-Man was actually like an Intellivision kind of deal. Like I don't know how that works because it wasn't one of those special cartridges like Activision. It was definitely, I think, made by the guys at Intellivision. Obviously, they don't own the rights to He-Man, but
I think it was done by Mattel.
yeah.
And Mattel owned Intellivision and He-Man, so that's probably how they
Right.
got the deal.
Right.
So I imagine Mattel still owns the rights. It's coming to the Amico rumor. Yeah, that's what we're just discussing, whether or not a He-Man game will be coming.
You know what I could really see them doing is probably throwing out like a mobile game, kind of maybe one of those tactics battle type games because there's so many characters, right? I mean, there's so many guys, there's so much stuff that they could do with that game. I think something like like an RPG, maybe even like a card battler would kind of be cool. Something along those lines because there's just so many characters to highlight.
What's up, Rhea?
Hey, Rhea.
Have an Amico day. Keep to one account, please. He found a box variant for Brain Duel. That's interesting.
Oh, speaking of that, Tony, have you gotten your games yet? Seems like everybody was getting their games.
They said they're still going to be delivered, I think, tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was quick. I didn't expect everybody to start getting. I seen DJC got his group of games and was pretty excited. I was just wondering because I didn't hear nothing from you Saturday that you actually got them. So I figured, yeah, Monday would probably be the day that you'd end up receiving them.
Yeah, I checked earlier and it said that they were not out for delivery yet. They're still shipping.
Well, not bad. That was pretty quick.
Yeah, they put mine on the slow pony. We can't have me get them too soon.
No, do we know where they were shipping out from? Because like I've said, DJC's just north of me in Detroit. And
Utah, I believe.
You're in Chicago, so he got his before you got yours.
Yeah, I think he ordered first too, so that's probably why.
All right, I think we're good to jump into our first game here.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
First game's going to be Despot's game. Now, this released on October 14th, so just a few days ago. Developed by Confu Games, published by Confu Games and Tiny Build, I believe. And this is going to be available for Linux, Mac, Steam, Microsoft Windows. It's a roguelike from what I hear, and kind of like a huge kind of battle game. I don't know. It looks kind of unique to me. The premise of it I didn't quite grasp because I don't think I've seen anything like it. So, and then I really think you're gonna like this one, Tony, right from the get go.
All right, we're gonna take a look. This is Despot's game. I believe it's got that funny pronunciation. So.
Yeah, I think you said it right. I don't think I said it right.
Man, we just love fucking pixel art games on this show, don't we?
This is my game. Despot's game.
Did you catch what he said at the beginning?
Give you a group of puny humans, and you will lead them to the...
Start it over because you talked right when he said it. He stole your tagline.
Hello, meatbag. This is my
what
game.
The fuck?
Despot's game.
I'm assuming
I will
somebody.
give you a group of puny humans, and you will lead them to the end of the dungeon. If you can get past my cute little robots, zombie wombies, and flesh-eating cabbage rabbages. Despot's game is a roguelike auto-battler. That means that all the fighting happens automatically. It also means permadeath and randomly generated dungeons. In order to win, your humans will need weapons, or whatever you can find to use as a weapon. Combine different kinds of dumb items to create your own dumb army. Your army needs to be positioned, fed, and genetically modified. Just don't get too attached to your little humans. They'll be dropping like flies. Let me tell you a little secret. If you make it far enough in the dungeon, you'll get the chance to fight other players. You probably think I came up with all this in order to raise a perfect army of mutated humans capable of conquering the universe, right? Wrong. I simply enjoy watching pathetic humans hit each other with refrigerators. You're in Despot's game now! Config Games bears no responsibility for salty tears, broken keyboards, busted screens, or...
I can't believe they stole my tagline, Gary.
I knew you'd like that one, Tony.
I don't know who to contact. The lawyer? Copyright office? Where we going? It looks good. It's an auto battler.
And you know what? To think about it, it's probably gonna stay on like Steam, like Windows, like just PC and stuff like that. Obviously, it looks like you're gonna need a mouse. Now, I mean, they could do something like this on Switch, right? But unfortunately, Switches don't come with stylus. A stylus. So, I mean, you could use a touchscreen for something like this. Do I see it getting ported? Probably not. It does look interesting. I like the concept of games like this. There were games like, Final Fantasy Tactics and like, or not, it wasn't Tactics. It was Revenant Wings, which was on the DS, where you kind of had to group all your soldiers together and, send them out into battle, and then kind of like a Command and Conquer type game mixed with like a roguelike, I guess. I really like it. The only thing that I don't like is that you're kind of stuck in these dungeon settings. I kind of wish it was more open, kind of an open setting. That way you weren't stuck in these little, square little boxes. But other than that, I think it looks really solid.
Yeah, it looks pretty decent. It looks fun, interesting. I don't know if you caught, but they had Dr. Octopus tentacles on some of the characters.
Oh no, I didn't. I like the fridge smashing, the zombie wombies.
So yeah, that looks pretty good. You said it's out already?
Yes, this came out October 14th, so just a few days ago.
All right. I'm feeling it. I'm a little taken aback by them stealing my line. I don't know what to do. I got a train coming, but the next game I think you're gonna like, Gary. It is a 8-bit graphic style. It looks like Castlevania. If you see it, you're gonna be like, my God, it's like they remade Castlevania into a East Asian type of thing.
Okay.
It's
Interest is
currently on
peaked.
Steam. It's got a 2022 release date. It's from Squidbit Works. It's the developer and the publisher. And they, what do they say about it? It's 8 levels, classic linear design with powerful end zone bosses, throwing weapons, melee combat, downstab, jumping, dashing. It says use the 3 powers of the shadows of Gabriel's curse. 16-bit physics with a great retro feel and perfectly polished and integrated controls. 8-bit sound effects and original soundtrack enriched with some sound from the Mega Drive sound chip. And of
Ooh, I
course,
always like that Genesis music.
it has that 8-bit pixel art. So I think you're going to like this one. So let's pop it up on the screen here. It is on Steam. It's called Lords of Exile. This damn thing.
Oh, I'm already liking the screenshots here.
You gotta love when the internet fucks up. Hold on.
Is this because the video's straight from the site?
Probably. Plus, a train just went by like 2 minutes ago. But like I said, as you can see, it does look like a Castlevania game.
Yeah, I'm getting a very like Curse of the Moon, Bloodstained type vibe from this. It looks really good.
I don't think we can go one show without having some sort of technical issue.
To be honest, what it really looks like is, and I'm gonna probably butcher the name. It was a Famicom game, and it was kind of a mix of like Castlevania and He-Man, and that was I think it was Getsu Fumaden. I think that's what it was called. I do have the Famicom cartridge, but it was kind of like a mix of Castlevania and He-Man, and that's really what that looks like to me.
Robo Blue says worst frame rate ever. 1 frame every 5 seconds, 5 minutes. Yeah. Cut me some slack, guys. All right, cut me some slack.
No, that looks really solid. I think the art looked really good. I don't know if it sounded like I was expecting like Genesis, like from the sound chip of like the Mega Drive or Genesis, but I think that sounded more Nintendo-ish, Famicom type the chip they use there. So I don't know why they threw the Mega Drive. I think that was just to reference that, but it definitely sounded more like the NES chip.
And like I said, that will be out in 2022. Hopefully this next one goes better. Gary, what do we got up next?
So next on the docket, we got Fallen Aces. Fallen Aces was published by New Blood Interactive, developed by Trey Powell and Jason Bond. And this is going to be, should be Microsoft Windows, Steam, and I think that was really all I could find on it. I don't know if they're going to, like I said, I don't know if they're going to drop to like, PS4, or, PS5, Steam, or Switch and Xbox, stuff like that. But it's a first-person shooter. It's reminiscent of, it feels, it looks kind of like Doom, like original Doom, mixed kind of with 13, if you've ever played 13, the first-person shooter. So it's got a lot going for it. It's really stylized. Got the cell shaded. So, and I always like my cell shaded games. I thought 13 was really solid. So this looks good.
All right, let's take a look at this. Fallen Aces. This is the E3 2021 trailer.
Been a long time, Michael. I heard you were back in town. But I don't remember sending you an invitation. I'd kill you myself. But where's the fun in that? No, Michael. I'm gonna roll out the red carpet for
It's definitely got a unique visual style to it.
I'll be watching you, Michael. Good luck, old friend.
So basically, what you probably couldn't tell from the choppiness of the video is that Doom has that like kind of like minimal animation, and it's got how like the characters kind of like flicker around almost. It's got that unique look, and that's basically, if this was running smooth, like the enemies look like they're kind of like minimal animation, kind of chopping around around you. But it definitely had a Doom feel. Obviously, it's got the noir setting, so, and it looks really solid. I like games that are cell shaded. I think they usually pop and they look really pretty when you're playing those types of games. So it looked really good to me.
Yeah, it looked good on my screen. I don't know how it looked on your screen. There was no stuttering here on this side. So next on the docket is a game called Fallen Leaf. It is another 8-bit era stylized game. It's from Delta Shore Games. Its release date is again 2022. It says explore 4 expansive and diverse world maps, choose your own routes, visit towns, discover hidden stages. Vibrant graphics adhere to authentic 8-bit color palettes, but use more of simultaneous colors and widescreen aspect ratio. It says collect gauntlet upgrades to power up your attacks, expand your arsenal of magical sub-weapons for adaptive combat approaches. Jump and shoot your way through 70 platforming stages riddled with secrets. So it's kind of like a Mega Man type game.
Ooh, I like my Mega Man.
Yeah, I do too. Damn, trailer wanted to start fucking playing already. Picking a study too.
It's got a very Double Dragon kind of sound there. No, Little Mega Man.
I swear to God, I'm gonna get a computer upgrade eventually.
It sounds kind of like a mix of like Double Dragon and Mega Man there. I like it.
Robo Blue says it looks Master System-y.
Yeah, it does, because it's got kind of this like solid groups of colors things going on, if that makes any sense. It's like hard to, when you describe some of these consoles, you know, it's really hard to kind of describe that look other than just saying like what he said. It looks kind of like, you know, Master System. But yeah, I'd agree. You know, the music sounded like a kind of like a cross between Double Dragon and Mega Man. And unfortunately, we're not rolling through these too smooth. They're pretty choppy for me to at least see, which kind of sucks. But it you know, from the basically the screenshots that I got to see, it looked good.
I just throw up some screenshots real quick, as you can see.
Yeah, that looks awesome. A lot of color to it. And I like a lot of saturation in my games. So games that more, you know, pop, I'm all about.
Yeah, I think it's real nice.
I think that brick right there, that just the way they did that brick is what's reminding him of the Master System. Some of these textures. No, you go back one where he's like in the city and you got like the three different colored buildings and stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of like just the blocks, and then the bricks themselves just got like a very Master System look to it. Especially with the top, kind of reminds you of something like what, Monster World, or I can't remember the other name of the one.
Alex Kidd?
Might be, yeah.
So that is Fallen Leaf. It's going to be on Steam. Hopefully it'll come to like consoles, because it looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, it looks solid. I like the screenshot. So,
all right, what do you got? Luke says he pre-ordered Elwa's collection on Switch. I can't wait to get it when it comes out.
now, did you go through limited run games? Because I seen that up. Everybody's been talking about that one.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talking about that too. Max Leonard says choppy, but this one looks like an awesome platformer. Yeah, I wish it wasn't so choppy. I don't know what the fuck's going on today. I think it's Gary's internet. It's killing us.
Is it me?
I don't know.
I think we used up all our time on Saturday.
Hell yeah. That massive fucking 6-hour stream.
Yeah.
Luke says I pre-ordered Amazon. He got it on Amazon. It was much cheaper.
Oh, okay.
Ray got it on Amazon too, apparently.
Okay, so it looks like that game's being, you know, I think limited run. It's not like just a special limited run deal. It looks like that's kind of going everywhere. So they might just, I don't know if that was one of their numbered games or if that's just something that they're just helping with distributing it. So yeah, I looked into that. It looks pretty good. A lot of YouTubers were talking about it. You know, with all the games coming out, it was one that it was a pass for me, but it looks solid. Maybe we'll cover that next week.
Yeah, maybe. This next one, I want to say this is kind of a cheat on Gary's part, but we're going to go ahead and show it anyway.
I guess both of them are kind of cheats. I only got two left, right? Yeah, I only got two left. Which one are you talking about, Tony?
Metal Slug Tactics.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I hope you've seen this. Everybody knows Metal Slug. Metal Slug has a tactics game coming out called Metal Slug Tactics, and I think this is probably the biggest kind of RPG tactics type game that excites me. This one looks solid. The graphics and everything in this look really good. So this is developed by Lightyear Studio and published by our friends at .emu. So good things from them. Windows, Switch, Steam, and I couldn't imagine this not coming out to PlayStation 4, 5, and in Xbox. This has got to hit pretty much everything when it comes out. I think who knows? It could be just like maybe a timed exclusive thing. But right now, I could only find information on Microsoft Windows, Steam, and Switch. So, and then the release date on this is to be determined. I don't think they've nailed down a date, but I would assume sometime in maybe second quarter of next year, because this was released or announced at I think E3, and then the indie preview or whatever earlier this year. So it's had a few months. It's it's made its way around the internet. So if you haven't seen it, here you go.
Real quick, Robo Blue says, "What ISP do you use?" I got AT&T internet, so I think maybe Sidekick Max is using up all the Wi-Fi. We will take a look at Metal Slug Tactics. I actually just recently beat all the Metal Slug games. They had the collection on PS4.
Did that include everything on that collection?
Everything but the last one. So it was 1 through 6, and then like XX or something like that.
Did it have the Advance on there too? Did it have the because there's so many Metal Slug games, and then the way that they did like the game for the Game Boy Advance and the one that they did for the DS, I usually get them confused because usually they're already games that were out. I think the one that was for the DS was actually on the DS first, and I can't remember the numbers of them because there's so many of them. But they usually take those games and then port them to other places. So I was just curious if they actually did they have the Metal Slug Advance on there?
No, they had, like I said, the first 6 Metal Slugs, and then they had Metal Slug X, which was like a re-release of 2 or something like that.
Be right.
And that's it. They didn't have the first mission, second mission, advanced, or the 3D Metal Slug.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played the 3D one. Okay, so basically just like the mainline series, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and then I bought 7 separately, so I ran through all those. I didn't like, because it's got unlimited continues because it's on consoles. They were arcade ports.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. It's a little too easy to be able to just kind of run through it over and over and over again, right? Because that game's hard as nails.
Yeah, so it was fun, but then it was just like, I know I'm not going to die. I could just continue, and
yeah,
got a little boring. But Metal Slug Tactics coming up. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, hold on. Let's see if I drop this down a little bit. Maybe it'll get better.
Now this was like all the Metal Slug stuff's made by SNK, right? It's developed in house.
Yeah.
So kind of like unique that they're letting this Lightyear Studio, but they've done a fantastic job recreating this. I mean, it looks like Metal Slug, just a tactics game. So
yeah, I was gonna say it looks like the sprites are straight from the games. So I'm guessing they just ripped the sprites from the latest game and just turned it into a tactics. So it makes sense. It fits perfectly in the whole genre of tactical.
Right. When I seen this, it was like, wow, why haven't they done this before? It just makes, it just makes so much sense. I never knew I needed this.
Yeah, it makes too much sense. Luke says that he's never been a fan of any tactical style game. Max says it's fixed. I think I dropped the quality of the video down.
Yeah, that helped a bit.
So hopefully that's better. Unfortunately, Steam does not have that option. So
Yeah, last week we were rolling pretty good. I think most of the trailers we watched, the internet was working last week. This week it's giving us hell. So
yeah, like I said, I think last week Psychic Max was taking a nap. I don't know why Luke's never been a fan of any tactics. Final Fantasy Tactics is fucking fantastic. Both of them, advanced tactics and the regular one.
now I loved Tactics when it got to Game Boy Advance and then the DS, the Tactics Advance and Advance 2. More so, like, not because of the law system, but they were absolutely great games. Don't get me wrong, but the first one, there's nothing like it, and the music and the story, I thought was fantastic. Then the dark grittiness of it, and then it kind of shifted more kid friendly. I guess you could say more whimsical,
Yeah,
which was okay, but definitely loved the first one, and I think the two other dropped off. I think that's a game that they need to go back and revisit, is make an actual sequel to Tactics, though. But
Luke says, yeah, he didn't care for Final Fantasy Tactics.
ugh,
The only problem I had with Final Fantasy Tactics is there's no point in using anyone that's not a main character because the main characters were always the best.
oh really? I usually stray away from that. The game's really cheap when you can figure out how to like dual-handed blade and counter and stuff like that. Once you do that and you know how to cheat the job point system, the game's actually rather easy and it's cheap. And then what was
Robo
cool is,
says,
go
Robo
ahead.
says Shining Force 2. Yeah, I love it. Shining Force 1, 2 were like I had 5 Genesis games because I didn't have the Genesis. My brother owned it, but I had Shining Force 1 and 2 were part of the handful of games I actually owned for the system that I didn't own.
Unfortunately, when I had it, I only played a little bit into 2. I think it was 2. Was there a 3 for Genesis, or was that 2?
1 and 2 are on Genesis. Gaiden 1 and 2 are on Game Gear. And then 3 was on,
Sega
I want to
Saturn.
say, the Sega CD. I had the first
Oh,
part,
okay.
and then the rest
Okay.
were on Saturn.
Well, I had 2 up until like probably a few weeks ago, a month ago. I'm pretty sure I said this. I sold my copy, and I'd only put like a few hours into it, and I'm kind of sad. But I had a ripped top label, and it was kind of time to go because I don't ever play it, so I sold it for a few dollars, a few shekels. But that was a great game. There are a lot of great tactics games. Onimusha Tactics was a solid
Oh,
game
that's
for
good.
Game Boy Advance. I don't know if they ever re-released that game, but that was really solid. And then there's another one. I think it was it? I want to say it was Sword of Mana, or there was a Mana Tactics game. That could have been a different style tactics game, but there's a few good ones out there if you really look.
Yeah. Onimusha is pretty good tactics. All right, let's go to my third game. This is again on Steam. This one's actually out. It came out 2 days ago, last year. So it's been a year and 2 days. I know it's a little bit of a cheat, but I saw this. I don't think anybody really talks about it. Again, it has a sort of 8-bit aesthetic. It's kind of like a Zelda type game.
Does it start with an I?
No.
Okay. It's not the one I was thinking of.
It's called Prodigal. It's an adventure puzzler with an old 2D adventure title. You know, you're solving puzzles, beating up monsters, collecting treasure, all that good stuff. Let me. Hopefully, the internet's gonna be good with us. It doesn't look like this.
It's kind of got like a little bit of a Game Boy Color feel to it. Maybe a little bit in between a Game Boy Color and a kind of like a Nintendo game.
God damn it, Steam. This is why I need the Steam Deck.
I think you're better off finding this on YouTube.
You think so? Is it messing up for you?
Yeah, it's pretty chat. We're not really getting to see anything but like a screen. I can hear the music going, but I think that's what it is. I think going through Steam is just it's not working. I think we're gonna have to just go straight through YouTube.
All right, let me try to look this up to YouTube. No, I don't want fucking Prodigal Son trailer.
Would you be able to like look these up and download the trailers? Would that help? If you were playing it straight from the computer?
Maybe.
I think we'll have to try that for next week.
It sounds like a lot of work. Hey, an Amico game? Too complicated to be an Amico game. That explains the frame rate. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's try it through the YouTubes. How's that for you, Gary? Is it working better?
Yeah, it's a little bit more solid there. It seems like when it got to this part, yeah, it's a little choppy, but... Oh, okay, so we got there's some puzzles in there. I guess you could say this looks kind of like a Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance game. That looks pretty solid.
Robo Blue says, oh nice, it was released on Ouya too. Yeah, I just really like the way these 8-bit graphics look. I'm a sucker for pixel art. Give me some good pixel art games, I'll be happy.
You said this has been out for a year?
Yeah, this has been out for a year.
But it's only available on Steam?
Yep, so far.
Yeah, and it'll probably stay that way. Now, I don't like the way the Steam Deck looks. I think it's like god-awful looking. Especially, I'm not a big fan of the big hulky kind of like controller type handles on it. But when I see stuff like this that I know is probably never going to come to Switch or Xbox and PS4, it really makes me want to grab something like that just for games like this, because that did look really good.
It's available on the itch.io So if you don't want to get through Steam, you can get through that. And I think Gary got one more game, don't you?
I have one more, and this has been out. God, this has been out for a long time. This particular version has not. I think it's only been out for maybe a year, maybe less than that. I don't have anything written down because I should know all this off the top of my head. So we're going to talk about Binding of Isaac, which I've talked about quite a few times. Repentance is due out here for Switch in, I want to say, either at the very end of this month. It hasn't been confirmed, which I don't understand why. A date for the physical copy to come out for Switch has not been announced, but I would assume you can order it right now. You pre-order it right now on Nicholas's website, so you can go and do that. I would expect it to come out like anytime. I mean, at any day they could be like, okay, we're sending them out, but there is no specific date. But I do believe it's coming out at least by the end of this year. So Binding of Isaac's been around for, God, I don't know, about 10 years now, maybe more than that. Started on as like a Flash game, and they've got Edmund McMillan is the developer of this, and obviously Nicholas is the publisher. He's released, God, I don't even know now, about 4 or 5 different versions of the game. I have I think Afterlife or Afterbirth, maybe on the DS, a game that I've always wanted to pick up. It's a game that's been expensive on the Switch. They have a version on the Switch that started to climb in price right around like last year, and I think it was like a $70 to $80 game now, with all the doodads that Nicholas sends with it. So this is definitely one to check out if you're interested. And it's, obviously a dark, religious kind of roguelike. And it's definitely one that people should pick up. And the box art, after this trailer, if the trailer doesn't show the box art, we have to go and like look at that box art, because I think the box art's like fantastic. So definitely, if you haven't heard of this, play this one, because this is a fantastic roguelike. This is what started the kick on all the roguelikes. So
Isaac.
Yeah, I've seen it, but I've never taken the plunge and bought it. It said it's available on the Epic Game Store too right now. Look at that, true local co-op. Tommy Yumiko wants to know if this game comes with a collectible physical coin.
With Nicholas putting this out, it may, because they're usually the kings of releasing stuff. I have I think it was Tiny Warrior or whatever, and that came with like a little sack with, I want to say, a pin or a coin. They usually give you stickers. There's a couple little doodads and trinkets that they give you when you pre-order from them and you buy games from Nicholas, because the only way you can get this is directly through Nicholas and their website. There's obviously they offer a slew of other games, and there's some stuff that's worth checking out. But they'll definitely have stuff that will come with that.
Sounds good. Like I said, I've seen it. I've always wanted to take the plunge, but I've never.
I think if you like gross kind of games, because you're running through basically, the gist is like, there's not much story to it, right? There's just Isaac is a kid and his mother's very religious, and he has to be sacrificed, so he goes down into the basement. And basically what you do, each level is going further and further down into basically the depths of hell. And you're shooting poops and you're shooting just crazy. It looks like what could be your brothers and sisters that have also run away into the basement and down in the dungeon. And it's basically survive as long as you can. It's a very, very hard game to play, but there's all kinds of power ups and different synergies that you can make in the game. And obviously there's thousands of rooms. It's procedurally generated. Tons of bosses to play, tons of ways to play. It's insane. He's been working on this game. It's the only thing he's really been working on other than Meat Boy. And Meat Boy was a work between two guys, and they split. So this is his baby, and he's been working on it for over to 10 years. So there's 10 years worth of content stuffed into this game, basically.
Wow. All right, so sounds good. I mean, Gary has hyped it up so much, everyone's going to run out and buy a copy. And Mr. McMillan, is it? He's going to owe Gary some royalties.
So if you can try to pull up what the box art looks like, I think the box art's like, you got to highlight the box art. It's beautiful. He's had many versions of title screens and what box arts should look like, because there were two versions for the Switch when the Afterlife Plus, or I couldn't tell you if it's Afterlife or Afterbirth, or there's been so many different ones, but the Repentance box art it's beautiful. It's what I'm excited about. And it is going to be full price. I think it's going to be $59.99, but I think it's going to be well worth it. You're going to get, like I said, about 10 years worth of content in the game. So you really can't beat that. I mean, you could go and get this right now. I think it is available on Switch's on the eShop. And I do believe this is available for Xbox, PlayStation 4 or 5, Steam, the whole kit and caboodle. So
it's on Steam and Epic Game Stores at the moment. Let's see if I can get this box art. Hold on.
now the only thing to look,
Afterbirth Plus, Rebirth. Jesus Christ.
yeah, there's been so many different iterations of it. But the only thing that I would say that I don't really care about, Nicholas, is that they do tend to release games with bugs in them. I remember that when I got Binding of Isaac, when it first came out for the 3DS, it had a lot of issues with it, and it's constantly getting patched. So unfortunately, this will be one of those games where, excuse me, that you end up getting, and you'll have to probably patch it a few times. But they do, try to get those patches out and try to fix the game. So
hopefully this is the right art that you were talking about. Hold on. You let me know if this is the right one, Gary.
If not, I'll look it up and I'll send you a screenshot of it. Yes. The mom in the moo the polka dot moo here, her evil face lifting up the butcher knife, Isaac sitting there crying. I mean, 20-sided die. You end up fighting her at the end of the game, and that's you don't fight her. She doesn't look like this, but like the leg, when you look at her leg, it's all kind of got like all these boils and all this stuff going on with it. And that's basically what comes down when you're fighting the end, is that she's poking through like the doorways, and her foot comes down to try to step on you. And this just screams just like everything that he's done over these, like I said, around 10 years worth of content is just kind of all encapsulated here in this artwork. I think it's fantastic.
Robo Blue says there's a theory that the Binding of Isaac fable is a rewrite of an older story where he does sacrifice his son. I think it's based on a Bible story, no?
Yeah. And like I said before, Edmund McMillan was his parents, I guess, this is kind of like a life story kind of thing for him of how like his parents, and I think his, don't quote me here, but I'm pretty sure like his mother was kind of like a big religious kind of nut, and he never understood it, and I guess this was kind of his describing his life, so to say, I guess. Not that like his mom chased him around with a butcher knife, but you know what I mean, just kind of life experience stuff.
RoboBlue says I'm referring to the Bible story. Yeah. Well, in the original Bible story, Abraham is told to sacrifice his son Isaac to the Lord, and he does. He binds Isaac, and he's about to kill him when God intervenes again and says, "Hey, I was just testing you, man. You don't have to really kill him."
Yeah, and all these themes definitely play into the game. They're all there, and I believe, I mean, there are, I want to say like 20 playable characters, and all these characters are. I'm not sure if they have an Abraham. I can't even remember, the names off the top of my head, but I would assume that a lot of those are pulled from that story. So it's, obviously it's loosely based on that, but yeah, those are definitely ties that are part of the game. So it's like kind of like a religious game, but his own take on it and his own prior experience, family experience. So
it says the Binding of Isaac Repentance is going to have a consistent narrative and more story. It's going to have a conclusion, I guess, to the whole thing.
Yeah, this should be it. Like this is it. Like I think once this is done and out, this was it. This is the cap to everything he's worked on. Like I said, I'm pretty sure since it started as a Flash, it was about 10 years worth of work. So this is bringing everything to a conclusion, and I don't see him going past what he's done here, because there's thousands of items, so many different layouts of rooms and different enemies and bosses. There's so much content here that it's mind-blowing. I mean, granted, it's the same game, but
there is a prequel to the Binding of Isaac called The Legend of Bumbo.
So. Was that made by him, or is that somebody else?
No, it was made by him, by Ed McMillan.
Oh, okay.
So it plays differently. Apparently, this is like a board game type thing. Matching tiles. But I guess the story is a prequel of Binding of Isaac. Max Leonard says, "Can I make a plug?" I'm not sure.
Is it video game related?
Yeah. What are we plugging here? We will shill for anything. What do we got going? Max says, "I'm excited for Binding of Isaac because of the couch co-op. I just wish I didn't have the feeling of buying it twice." And he says, "Yeah, whatever he's going to plug is going to be video game related." So yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the way I look at it though is if you're going to buy this on Switch and if you're going to buy it physical, if you just look at the last one that was released for Switch, which I believe was released in 2016, that game is fetching, a good amount of money for $60. You're definitely spending a lot there on an indie game. But I think you're going to get your value is going to come in. This game is going to be, especially if it's the last game that he's doing. I definitely see this hiking up to maybe $100 game in the future. So I think it's, a good investment.
So Max says, Max Leonard here, he says, to take a look at Fieldtown. It's on the App Store, Steam. So,
which, you know what, this is kind of good, Tony. I think we should do a segment where we have maybe a couple suggestions from the from chat.
Yeah, I don't think they have an official trailer. I'm looking.
Oh dear God.
I mean, what I'm seeing looks good, but I got a fan made trailer. I guess it'll be good enough. Hopefully, that's good enough. Yeah, I agree with you though. We should have an open suggestion, an open what do you guys got? What do you guys want to talk about type thing?
Sim City type game. Ah,
It definitely looks nice.
it looks better than Sim City ever did.
That was the short little fan made trailer. I don't see an official trailer. It seems like it's a pretty old game. But yeah, I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of like sim building, and Sim City for the original Super Nintendo was like one of my favorites.
Oh my god,
Granted,
SimCity. Everybody in the neighborhood used to play SimCity.
Granted, it's dated by today's standards, especially with what hit on probably on games that were on PC and whatnot. I'm sure there's a lot better choices out there, but that was always one of my go-to favorites.
Yeah, I used to love that shit. We used to. I mean, it's a game that you wouldn't think that kids would like, but we were like fucking nerds, I guess, because we would be sitting around talking about how to build a better city and maybe
Well, it
put
was
the fucking
It was different
industry
too,
here.
right? I mean, we were usually always accustomed to playing platformers in the day, so it was a nice change of pace to play something like SimCity.
Yeah, Max says that he remembers getting that awesome Bowser statue. Yeah. I didn't like SimCity 2000. That was kind of a disappointment.
And that was on PlayStation, right?
It was on Super Nintendo too, I think. It was on a couple of things.
Yeah, that might have been, yeah. And I think it probably was prettier on PlayStation. I never put too much time into it. I've seen it. It was supposed to be a more of a graphical powerhouse over the original SimCity, but I like that basic vanilla version of SimCity on Super Nintendo.
Yeah. SimCity 2000, it had too much with the water and it's too complicated. Try to add too much.
My favorite sim game, and I'm not a PC guy, but I will always go back to Roller Coaster Tycoon. I think out of all the Roller Coaster Tycoon games that were ever released, the very first one holds a really special place in my heart. Just the way it looks, I think, is timeless. I think you can go back to that game and it still looks fantastic to this day. And everything that they tried to do to it, and like the sequels and everything, and they got too far away from what Roller Coaster Tycoon was. They actually need to go back to Roller Coaster Tycoon and make it more like the first one.
Yeah, I agree. And we got one more that I planned on. It is again a kind of old school type of game, 2D platformer. This one's 16-bit era, so we've advanced a little in my picks. Again, it is available on Steam. This one just came out, I think, yesterday or the day before, something like that. It's called Beard Blade. And you use your beard to attack enemies.
Oh, it's like a Shantae hair whip, huh? It is. It looks like a Shantae game. Dude, that's awesome. Oh, a little Mario spin there. Man, did I call that shit or what?
Yeah. I think some of the sound effects look like they're taken from Mario. like the jumping and the springing.
The nice ground pound there. Ooh, I like that. That's one thing Shantae doesn't have. I like that little 3D type segment that they had where it looked kind of like when you're running it like Lion King, when you're running from the herd or the Stampede.
Reyes says it's a Mario meets Shantae meets Wonder Boy.
Yeah. Yep.
No John Dillerman games where you attack with your wiener. Genital jousting it will not be featured on this channel. Like I said, that's all I got. It's on Steam. Hopefully, it's from Glovebox Games. Hopefully, they port it over to the Switch or the PlayStation because my PC is shit because it's a fucking laptop from like 10 years ago. But if I get the Steam Deck, definitely gonna get this as soon as I get the fucking Steam Deck. I have it on pre-order. I just gotta wait till it comes in.
Yeah, that looks good.
Tommy Yumiko says the guy who programmed the Lion King Stampede has a YouTube channel. Interesting.
That might be the guy that goes and describes games that he's in, like all the games that he used to work on. I think I've seen him. I'm not too sure of the name, but I think I know who you're talking about. I think I've come across his content in the past.
Some guy that describes the games he's in. You talking about Tommy Tellerico?
Not as bad. He's very humble with his crowd. So
Tommy Uyumiko says he shows how he did those tricks. All right.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. I don't, like I said, I don't know his name, but I think I did have come across his videos, and he'll go and describe the games that he's worked on and stuff like that. So it's always cool when you got a developer who comes back to that stuff and proud of the work that they did. And
well, yeah, if he's showing you how he did those tricks and how you could get the system and push it to the limits, it's always a good thing. Well, that's 8 games plus the suggestion from Max Leonard's. If anybody else got something that they want us to take a look at, you want to take a look at what is that? All Was?
Yeah, we could do that.
Since people were talking about that. What's it? All Was Legacy? All Was Awakening? What?
All Was Awakening. ALAW or ALWAS, I think. All Was.
Because there's the All Was Collection, Awakening, and then another one.
It's Awakening, I believe.
Because Awakening's from 4 years ago. Damn it, Gary.
Let me
I think it's a collection.
look real quick. Let me look real quick.
Limited run games 1 month ago.
Yeah, if Limited Run's doing it, then maybe it's I think it's all the same thing, ain't it? I didn't know there was a collection of games. I know when I checked it out like a month back when it popped up, I didn't realize it might be more than one game, but
yeah, I think it's 2 games. Yeah, because it's All Was Awakening and All Was Legacy.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense. I don't know if are they selling just the collection on Limited Run, or are they selling both? Like kind of like both games, and then because I know they're doing that with Axiom Verge. You can get Axiom Verge 2, and then Axiom Verge in like a collection package on Limited Run. They just started doing stuff like that, so that could be what they're doing there. I think I personally just checked out the Awakening.
I don't fucking know. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea. Tommy Rumiko says, "Okay, the guy's YouTube name is Coding Secrets."
Okay.
So if you want
Yeah.
to know how, excuse me, if you want to know how somebody pushed the software to the limits, pushed the hardware to the limits, made some unique things, check out Coding Secrets on YouTube. Anything you want to add, Gary? Because I think I cut you off.
No, that's okay. I was just saying, like, yeah, that sounds about right. Coding Secrets sounds like the guy that he's talking about and that I probably watch. So yeah, great guy, great YouTuber. I think I watched a few of his videos, and it's always kind of fun to hear the behind the scenes of, what was going on at the time and how he was, what he had to do to get it to run and look really good. So, and if you had anything to do with the Lion King Stampede section, I mean, obviously everybody remembers that's like one of the that and the second level are probably one of the standout parts of that game. So.
And Luke says that the collection is both games together. Yeah. Gary was just confused. He didn't know there was 2 games. It definitely looks good. It looks like an old school game. There's definitely a theme towards the games that we show on this channel. Would you agree, Gary?
Oh yeah, and there's a game that I'm gonna talk about after we watch this. So it looks good, and I'll explain the reason why I wanted to pass on this. It looked a bit slow for my taste. That's not a bad thing. I think it looks good, and I could be totally wrong. This could be a game that I regret probably not picking up physically. There's one particular game that this looks like, and I think it's a very hidden gem, if you will, that maybe not too many played on the original NES. Tony, have you ever played Mega Man with a wig?
With a who?
Mega Man with a wig. That's
No.
not the title of the game, but so look up the Crying Conquest for me.
All right, I will. Real quick, I want to get Luke's comment here. He says, Alwa's Awakening is more 8-bit, where Alwa's Legacy is 16-bit.
Okay.
And Rhea says $30 for 2 games on a physical cart, though. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
It does look a little slow. It looks methodical. That's how Flynn, Son of Crimson was. Like, it wasn't fast paced, but you had to think out all your moves. You couldn't just rush through it. So you said, what's the name of the game?
The Crying Conquest. Now you'll probably have to just check out some gameplay because obviously it's an NES game. I don't think there's any trailers for it, but it looks to me, when I seen this game, I instantly thought of the Crying Conquest, and it's one game that I actually don't have in my collection. I could kick myself in the ass for not picking it up probably about like 7 years ago when it was dirt cheap, and guys didn't know what hidden gems were back then. I mean, that whole thing was just starting to take place in the gaming collection, kind of hunting it down scene. But it definitely reminds me of the Crying Conquest. just in the fact that this game doesn't look more Mega Man, and the Crying Conquest has kind of ties to Mega Man a little bit, but from how she does the bubble and she does the block, it just highly reminds me of the Crying Conquest.
I'm trying to get a video that's not too long.
Yeah, we could just watch a quick little snippet, but it definitely reminds me of that game more so than any other game. It was the first thing that came to mind, was just because they're kind of both got a wizard-ish kind of look to them, and but the Crying Quest always cracks me up because it looks like Mega Man with a wig. I don't know if anybody's too familiar with this one, but this is definitely a hidden gem.
In 2011, there was peace. I must have missed that.
There was peace. More peace than there is now. God, that's crazy to think that, this game's so old now that we flew past that date.
What's that, Gary?
I said that it's so crazy to think that 2011, this game's so old that we flew past that date.
Yeah. I couldn't hear you because, once again, there is a train going by next door. And apparently it was called Magical Doropi in Japan.
That sounds about right. Is this just the intro?
Yeah.
So yeah, go right there, click right there to the main picture though, where you were just at the end of the video. Did you see? You see her there in the hat?
Yeah, we need some gameplay.
Yeah, and then the gameplay is gonna. It doesn't look like a kind of direct comparison. It's gonna be obviously older and more limited because it was on the NES. But the things that she does just reminds me of this. Always.
Give me a second. I got to go through these fucking ads. Not to be an e-beggar, but if you guys don't want us to have ads on the channel anymore, just hit the subscription button and donate. What is it? $9.99 a month to get Gary and me ad free, so we can watch videos.
We just need an internet upgrade so we can watch these nice and smooth.
Yeah, we're gonna start a new computer fund, so you guys can buy us new computers.
Damn, if I didn't need my computer so bad, I'd send it to you, Tony.
Fucking train, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there we go. You can just kind of jump into the. Now, like I said, this is going to be very Mega Man feeling. The music is kind of god awful in this.
I mean, the sound effects were Mega Man-ish. The life bar, even these the blocks look like Mega Man, like they just stole the fucking assets.
I forget if she's got a little balloon that takes her up, but it's got that feel at least, like how she's kind of lifting herself up. But yeah, if you look closely, it looks like Mega Man with a wig on.
I'm surprised Capcom didn't sue. This is just blatant.
Good luck trying to get your hands on this one, unless you want to spend. It's probably now $150 game.
See, even this enemy right here is fucking straight from Mega Man.
Is that the little spring thing? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, the level design looks very, Mega Man-ish. How the levels scroll. The music's just god awful.
Yeah, the music is
the sound effects are kind of terrible. And it's kind of sad because like the opening intro is like really solid. It's like, what the hell happened? I
I think
also
even
don't
that
like
right
how.
there, the little round clear sound was the same.
No, they didn't have. That's the thing I was gonna say. They don't really have like split. Like they don't split Mega Man levels in half. It's
No, but
basically
when
what
he
they're doing
finishes the
here.
level, that little music plays.
Oh, kind of, sort of like when you finish beating the Robot Master. Well,
Yeah.
kind of, sort of. Not as
Yeah,
good.
let me see if I can go back for it. Hold on. Damn it.
It was definitely inspired by Mega Man for sure. And this had to come out. I want to say that this was one of those games, if it was a hidden gem, that probably came out around like 93, 94, 95. Makes sense
Listen to
that
this
nobody really
music.
heard of it.
I'm gonna put it up. That was fucking Mega Man, all right? See, 56K Wing says it is Mega Man. See? No levels are literally ripped from Mega Man. See?
Well, that's why I said it's Mega Man with a wig.
Some rooms are straight ripoffs. Uyumiko says I beat this. Overall, the levels aren't as good as Mega Man games.
Yeah, I came across this for $6, probably like I want to say 7 or 8 years ago. I had no idea what it was until I watched like a Michael B. the Game Genie kind of like hidden gems video, and I was like,
quote unquote, inspired by.
but yeah, I missed out on picking it up, and I tried to go back because it has a very distinct cover. It looks kind of like Glenda, the what is it, the White Witch or the Good Witch from Wizard of Oz. That's basically what the cover art kind of looks like. And I was
The
like, oh,
cover
I
art
see.
looks insane.
Yeah, I was like, I seen that at the we had a kind of like a big huge like warehouse type deal where they did like a flea market and that stayed open on the weekends type deal, and Gibraltar Trade Center here in Michigan. And a guy who sold a bunch of games had it, tons. I mean, like 200-300 NES games, and they were, these were selling for cheap, like 7-10 years ago. I come across it, and I was like, I don't know what this is. This looks stupid. And then later I found out that it was that, and then ever since I've been trying to hunt it down, and it's just gone, skyrocketed in price. So never got to play it.
Poor Gary. Let me show the box art because it is insane. So you got Glenda the Good Witch here. What looks like a ripoff Darth Vader. Some eagle. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this little guy here. What is the Molly Maggot trailer? I'm afraid.
Sounds cool. Molly Maggot.
I don't trust. Sometimes I don't trust our audience. They like to have us look at weird shit.
Well, if it is a game and they're not joshing us here, I think that it does fit into
is
the
a
weird
game.
games.
5-year-old game.
Fits into the weird games we have looked at. We've looked at some pretty oddball things here. So
It is rated E10, so this could actually be on the Amico.
with a name like Molly Maggot.
Yeah. See, E10. Fantasy Violence, Mild Blood. By Knob Software.
I like the actual, like, someone's like going, the sound effect. Oh, is this on Wii U?
Yeah. That damn Nintendo. They're maggot games.
Yeah, it just sounds like they just did all their voice. They just used their voice to do all the sound effects. And
Discover the door to survive. Molly Maggot.
No, find the exit.
It looks like a weird. I like how they listed Bring Your Own Music as if it was a feature.
Now,
Yeah.
is the like Wii U eShop still up? I wonder if that's still running. Because I know like DSi one is been gone, and I'm not too sure about 3DS eShop, but could still be.
This looks like a fucking Newgrounds game that someone decided to port over to the Wii U and somehow got approved.
This is definitely right up in television entertainment's alley.
56K Warning says it's too small. What is this? A game for termites? Max says, I think the trailer for Molly Maggot didn't do itself justice. And Robo Blue says it's $2, if I recall correctly. So, I mean, can't beat that for $2. If it's got achievements, I'm there.
I bet you someone bought that and sunk like 20 hours into that game.
He's like the best Molly Maggots player in North America.
Bring it.
Well, that's all I got. You got anything else, Gary? Or,
No, I think we did good this week. A lot of solid titles, a lot of stuff to look forward to. We're almost pushing an hour and a half. I think this is the longest Monday we've had. So
yeah. So make sure next week bring your suggestions. We'll look at some games at the end after we go through mine and Gary's stuff. Starting next week, not this week, but starting next week, I will be putting timestamps and links to everything. I'll get that all straightened up. Because I did actually put timestamps on the 6-hour video. So it's got chapters and timestamps all set up on Saturday's 6-hour mega stream. So I finally did that after, what was that, 17 episodes? But yeah, you know how we do it here. Love, peace, booty grease. We out this bitch.